Little Cameron, he's in, I think he's in third grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other day, he was telling me how he was doing a multiplication with I don't even know what it's called, but he had three numbers, three number multiplication. It was incredible. I mean, that's been his story since he started in like first grade.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you guys can just teach kids. And it kind of just goes to show you that if you introduce and you expose children to that type of rigorous curriculum and learning, that they can do it.
Yeah, they definitely can. I think it's the great thing is, again, encouraging that confidence. Many children, they receive rigorous curriculum, but they don't know how to take it. They think it's too much. But we are really into resetting the standard. And our idea, really, what we've been seeing is that a lot of children at this age and this society, really this period of time, the curriculum is very watered down. It's kind of the perception that, well, at 5 years old, you really don't need to know that much. And then what happens is they slow down your curriculum, and then when you get into middle school, they're like, oh, you need to know all of this information. So our job is to prepare your child so that what a first grader needs to know, it isn't what the average first grader knows. And most of our children, they're operating on a grade or higher. Most of our children, again, we don't go by age at our school. So it takes away the barriers, it takes away what a first grader, second grader should know. So most of our children, we're pre-K 3 through 6th grade, but the oldest child that I think that we have there is 8, and they're operating on a 5th and 6th grade level. So that's the kind of thing that you see at the day school. So it resets the thinking of, this is all I need to know. I can go as far as I want to go. And then when they leave at that 6th grade level, they go into top private schools, if that's the track that you desire. And that opens up doors, especially as an African American child, where you're put in positions and around people who are in control of things, and you begin to operate and learn what leadership is. And that's really what day school does.
I do want to have Abner control and put your phone number on the screen so people
definitely
can call you for more information.
Yes.
And what's that number once again?
302-652-4651.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's amazing, excuse me, but and we did notice Max's, I'm a kind of a historian kind of a guy, and I'm pretty set up to understand all these years how I've acquired what I think is some pretty basic knowledge. And I learned some very important experiences and some words that I like to use, and one of them is a little phrase called the inaccurate perception to the map of reality. and actually what that is so many of us believe that you've got to go to some of the private schools that are, I don't want to call any names, but the private schools in town in order to get a real good sound education. I remember going to Howard High School, and it was a black school. We were placed there because we had no choice. But the teachers there had a goal to make us the very best that we could be. And then I went to Newark High, which was an all-white university high school, and I was a year or so ahead of the university high school. And I believe that we need to understand that our people can do a good job if their goals are to do it. Most of you who are in that field want to do that. And so, but we don't give you the opportunity to even touch our gifted kids. Our gifted kids are automatically, they're too smart. They can't go to a black school like what you're running, and it would probably, the individual would probably get a better feel, But that's what I call the inaccurate perception to the map of reality, because in reality, you guys do a much better job. Instead of going to an Asian school or Chinese school or whatever that school might be. I believe that if we're smart, and I'm so excited about the many charter schools that's coming up with the goals to do that, because so many of our kids are handicapped because they don't have a you there to excite them and have that self-confidence kind of an issue that allows them to jump on board that and be successful. I'm excited because Max did a great job there. I don't know, whatever. I guess he graduated from there. Huh?
I guess I graduated from Sanford, so I wanted him to start where I was. So I guess I got caught up in the emotions of him going to Sanford. But again, nothing against Sanford, but just academically, totally different. I think the only drawback about the day school is that you guys don't go.
Yeah, we don't go up to 12th grade.
Yeah, you don't go to 12th grade because you almost have to take your child out because it's so far advanced.
Yeah.
If you don't, they'll be so young.
Yeah.
And they'll be around 12 and 13-year-olds, and they're only 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because that's just how far in advance the day school curriculum is. It's incredible. You really just have to experience it.
Yeah,
I did, and I was excited about it. I just think that we as a people have to begin to recognize the responsibility that we have to our community and our people in terms of educating them properly, and that we take that giant step to say, I'm going to go to the day school instead of trying to get into some school they can't even afford hardly.
Yeah, I think the danger too is that, especially in this day and age, is that we enforce and kind of start to pump up learning within the community, like you said. What I've been seeing for a very long period of time is that a lot of parents, when they think of private school, they think, oh my goodness, the money. But if you think about just the money, if you think about education in terms of money, in terms of just a monetary value, then you're really missing the whole point. Good schools, the value doesn't come in the money. The value is in the curriculum, it's in the teachers, it's in the mindset of those schools. And so you find many schools that are charter, that are public, that do great jobs. And what we've been seeing is even with private, when our children leave, we have been very picky on even to send them even when it comes to private, because what we feel is that even when they leave here, their confidence is so high that we're scared of putting them into an environment where they tell them you're doing too much or you're learning too much. And so I think as African American people in the community, it's very important that we change, we shift our mind to start to think, okay, how can we within the community raise our children together versus separate, my child goes here, my child goes there. So I think if we turned our minds back to kind of the idea of it takes a village to raise a child, I think our children will be much better because of it. I really do believe that.
And then when you compare the tuition, between day school and other, the average private school, I mean, the day school still comes out a winner.
Yes, our top tuition price is $5,125. So that is extremely low compared to many schools. I attended Wilmington Friends in Tower Hill, and you're talking about starting at $12,000, and then when I got into high school, Tower Hill, that's about 17, 18, 19, 20, so it's definitely a huge payoff to come to the day school, to get a private school experience, because you're getting a private school experience, and then you have the choice to send them, if you want to send them. We've had kids go to, they go to Howard, or they may go to, we have a couple kids go to Tall Oaks, and then of course the top private schools, and then to even the public school system, APO, there's different places where you can go, and we feel like they're fully prepared. So even, if you go into the public school system, you're more than prepared. Private school, more than prepared. So it really doesn't matter where you send them afterwards.
So if people want to schedule an interview or give more information, they can just give you a call?
We have an admission process. We are a private school, so we operate a private school. So what you can do is you can call us at 302-652-4651. You can email us at thedayschoolforchildren@gmail.com. What we recommend is that you go to our website, which is thedayschoolforchildrenprep.com. And you can actually go on our website and schedule a tour online. Book your time, and you will feel free coming to the school at 9:30 when you book your tour, or call us and book a tour. Just tell us your name, how old is the child, and we'll just go from there. That's it.
And it is a school that definitely involves family. It's not a school where you can think you're going to send your child and they're going to do all the work at school and come home and nothing's going to happen. I mean, I remember being up with Max for hours doing homework. But it was all well worth it. I mean, you get homework and you have to sit there and do it with them because it's such an intense program that you want to make sure that your child is prepared. It's not a place. I mean, it's a commitment. It's don't think you're going to send your child there and the day school is going to do all the work for you. Yeah, it's definitely a team a team. What am I trying to say?
A team effort.
Yeah, a team effort. It's definitely a team effort. More so, I think, on the household, just to make sure that a child is taking in everything that you guys are giving them at school. So.
Yeah, it reinforces family working together. We feel like when it comes to education, the parents are the first educators. So we definitely reinforce that, so that when they bring the homework home, you can't just tell them, oh, okay, do the homework. You have to work together. So it helps the parent work with the child. You actually get to see your child's progress. It's not where you don't know how your child's doing, and then a couple months later, parent-teacher conferences, your child's doing report. Oh, you should have told me. Now you really it's a one-on-one thing at the school. So we work with you, and then you work with us, the child works with us. So then it's like a community. Everyone's working together for the common good, so that when your child goes somewhere great, you can say, I had a part in that, not where it was just the teacher. I helped my child work on their homework. And the child is able to look at their parents in a way that says, you care about my education, you care about me learning, we're gonna sit down and do homework together. Where did those days go? Where you would sit down and your parents would help you with your math, or your father would say, I don't know how to do this, honey, you go help, And even for single parents, it helps them feel more confident. For a lot of single parents, they feel like they've been lost, they don't know where to go. At the day school, we help you figure out this is what your child is doing, this is where they need to go, this is the track. And as a single parent, you can say, I got it, I can really do it. So it's great.
Yeah, where were you when I was doing my homework? Where were you?
I probably did it. That's why I got to do everything now.
That's a good point.
I said, all you got to do is sign it, and then we're okay. I guess what, I have all kind of perceptions, but I think that so many things that, for instance, Trippy and I have a great relationship. And it's because we've done things all the way through. When I had all kind of outside jobs, he went with me. And I think that's what has us to where we are today. And I think that many parents should be there. And that concept of the parents developing relationship, we believe that just because you're my daughter or you're my son, we have a relationship, and that's not true. The relationships are developed. And it starts in a setting like that, where, as you say, you build up the confidence, the relationship, and that's when the village begins to grow. And so I think that's what we need, and that's what we should be looking for in our communities. And for anyone, I guess another thing that I believe in, that there's many jewels in our community just like you, and we don't have the exposure. Like Channel 28 is beginning to grow to be a tremendous jewel, and it's a jewel because we are able to have you to come and see 100,000 people. How would you get this kind of opportunity, or how would the community get an opportunity to hear about you? So we fought very hard to keep Channel 28 alive, and it's a cultural information station that I think will be here for a while, and I hope that our community will take the advantage of Channel 28 so that they can have people like you to tell them what's going on. And so I'm excited for you. I hope that we're able to help you to get more and more students over there where you can grow the students, because I know what you can do over there. I've seen it in Max. He's almost a straight A student when he wants to be. And all you have to do is kind of tune him in a little bit, and he'll be a straight A student. But it's all because of the background that your school set up. And there's no question about why kids are good students. It's the background that counts.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, brother.
All right, Genesis, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have your number on the screen so people can call, and we wish you well. Come back whenever you like.
Okay.
Matter of fact, maybe next time bring some of the students here.
Yes, that would be great, actually.
Okay, so we can
That'd be great.
actually prove to everybody what we're talking about.
Great. Yeah,
All right.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Sammy's Corner. All right, welcome back to Sammy's Corner. hope that you enjoyed our interview with the Day School for Children. It would definitely do you you'll be doing your family a great favor if you have a child that is in pre-K. I think she said pre-K to 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Go check out the Day School for Children right there on Newcastle Avenue. They have an awesome program. All right, so Sammy's Corner. What's going on, buddy?
I don't know. You tell me what's going on.
I don't know. Maybe we can talk about what's today on the News Journal front page, talking about crime here in the city of Wilmington, and how we're already at, well, most likely we will pass our record number of shootings. Just how it's really just plaguing the city and plaguing neighborhoods, and the effect that it could have on businesses downtown, and just the frustrations of a lot of the residents in the city, and how put some of the focus on the police department and on Mayor Williams, and how they, especially the police department, could be doing a better job, and which I definitely agree. I think that they could be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to like loitering and those types of issues. It put a little bit of pressure on Mayor Williams and his campaign promises, and how crime hasn't really decreased the way he said that it would. I guess that that may be true, so I don't want to take anything away from that. But I think that it's unfair to put the burden completely on Mayor Williams or on the police department. Not saying that they couldn't be doing a better job, because they could be, especially the police department. I think that we do need more more police presence in the neighborhood for patrol, just more community policing. So I don't want to take away from that. I don't want people to think that I don't agree with some of the things that were said in today's paper. But I think that a lot of us are really missing the big picture, as far as what we were just talking about with the Day School of education. It's not it won't be an immediate fix like the police could be, but it is something that I think long term that we definitely have to pay more attention to, because it's not fair to put that type of pressure on a police department, because we'll never arrest or police our way out of the issues that's really plaguing our city and our children. I believe if you give children a solid foundation of education, that they're not going to go into crime. You rarely find high school and college graduates committing some of the crimes that are plaguing Wilmington. So education has to be a part of that. So I think we're really letting a lot of our state officials off the hook. We're letting from the governor on down to not aggressively educate our children to the level that, every child, to the level that the Day School is attempting to do. We put so much blame on teachers, and I've had a chance to be a mentor at Shortledge for the past few weeks, and the teachers really have their hands full with a lot of the children. There are so many issues that are facing those children, and how can one teacher teach a class of almost 30 children? It's almost impossible. And I believe that there is funding for it. I believe that we definitely have to start educating our children at an earlier age. We can't wait until they get to be 5 years old or 6 years old to say, okay, now we're going to provide education for you. It has to start at a younger age, because by the time they're 5 or 6, probably 90% of the time, it's already determined which way they're going to go. As far as education, whether they're going to be successful or not. We really have to demand that our state educates our children in a way that the Day School attempts to do, and at an early age. I just think that we're doing a disservice to only put that type of burden on the police department or on Mayor Williams, because all they're doing is attempting to fix some of the mishaps of where we didn't educate our children.
In any socioeconomic group, people in any country where there's poverty, what do you find? You're going to find crime.
All right.
Okay. we're going to send millions of jobs to other countries and not allow our people, and it's only because of the bottom line. These big companies want to make money.
All right.
So they make money by paying 50 cents instead of $10. And yet we want to be naive enough to want to say that this crime and this poverty can be solved by mere whims when people don't have jobs.
All right.
And then we're going to have great school systems when we don't have a tax base to take money from people who are working. If you're not working, the governor can't do all those things without money. And so the thing that we have to understand is we have to come together and help communities to understand values. And that will help to, even though people are poor, when we grew up, we were poor. But one of the, and there was crime when we grew up. There's going to be mayor, double his police force and have 2 mayors. And because of crime or poverty, people are going to be ignorant and they're going to be misguided, and you're going to have shootings. So I don't believe that if you have 2 governors with the same tax base, you have 2 mayors, and you have double the police force, you can cover every corner in Wilmington. And if a guy wants to shoot somebody because he's ignorant, and ignorant means that he just
doesn't know any better.
He doesn't know any better, and it's almost a fad now to have a gun and shoot somebody. If you're mad, you go shoot.
All right.
You know, the police don't make you mad. If you go to West Overhills, everybody in West Overhills got a gun. They ain't shooting nobody.
All right.
Okay, so having a gun does not make you shoot. Poverty and ignorance makes you shoot.
Right. We have to change the mindset.
Absolutely.
Of people somehow.
With jobs,
Right.
with money. And
With
we're not
education.
going to have any jobs, so we're going to have poverty until people recognize what is causing the poverty. It isn't bad kids.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's environment where people have lost faith, and they're not excited.
How do we fix that though? I mean, I almost think that we have to take it. I was watching Herman Holloway's show earlier, and I don't know if you had a chance to see it or not.
No, I didn't.
But he was talking about the era around the '60s, where Martin Luther King and a whole lot of people were much more active, and I guess we as a people we were much more active in demanding equal rights.
Well, we have equal rights.
But do you think that we have to take it almost back to that time where people just have to? Reverend Morton told her son, Eddie, that we've stopped fighting, and that's a part of the problem why we are where we are now, because we don't take things to Washington D.C. and to Dover and to City Council. Like we've given up, and we don't bring the issues en masse to the people who and demand that they fix it.
Until the people decide this is what they want. The police aren't the factors. The mayor is not the factor to generate enthusiasm within you and the community. He's there to give leadership to find out how he and the responsibilities that he have can be support factors to their goals. And so I don't think that, and I think that's a cheap shot at the mayor. I don't think that he is causing crime.
I think that
nor can he prevent crime.
He can't. I think that he really wants to see a better Wilmington, and
I do too.
And he was very excited about making change in Wilmington, and he may have said some things that now people are taking advantage of his eagerness to make this a better city, and they're trying to blame it on him. But I don't think that's fair at all. Don't get me wrong. I think the police could do a better job. There could be some different things that are happening within the police department to to be better, better police officers in the city. But it's not. Even if it's a perfect police department, that's not going to solve some of the issues of jobs and education.
I think there is a wrong perception of the police department. I think that the police department takes itself away from the community.
Right,
and I think that one of the things that could help to shape up the police department, the police don't want to hear this, but to have a community review board that helps to give direction and give some input to how to police Wilmington.
Right.
And I think it should be a combination of civilians and police, so that they can together, and until they get together and they can invite the community in, then I don't think the police will ever be as effective as they could be.
That's true. I mean, that's a good point. It definitely has to be more of a team effort, like we were talking about earlier.
It has to be a team effort. It is the community's police. How can they say, no, you can't be a part of our police, when the police department belongs to the city?
Right.
It's crazy for the police to take that attitude, and that's one of their downfalls. They have many downfalls, but until they begin to understand that they need civilian help, and not how they want you to help, but help in terms of helping them to develop their skills,
Right.
then we'll have a better Wilmington, and we won't have nearly the problems that we have, because then people will get out, and once you get involved, you become more, it's like the young lady that was here says, oh, they're enthused, they're hipped up, and they're prepared. But as long as people are sitting home and they cannot get involved in helping to be a part of that process, they're not going to feel good about it.
That's true. Again, I think like you really had a very good point when you said mentioned about the jobs, and how can we, what can we do better as a city to bring more jobs to Wilmington? Because that's a lot of the crime, I believe, is that's it comes down to guys and ladies not having jobs. And
I think that in our community, on every corner, when Wilmington was really Wilmington, in every community, we were involved in the stores. I think that if you found, count how many corners you have, and count how many people are at the Christiana Mall, count how many, and if those stores could come to our city, and we employed our people in the city where we're purchasing the goods, that would come up with a whole lot of jobs.
Right.
All these little corner grocery stores that folks who live in that community do not control, I believe that's another way to create many, many jobs. But these people have to, be educated on how to compete.
Right. I think another part that we're missing is our judicial system.
Or what?
Or like our judicial system.
Absolutely.
I hear so many complaints, from the police department of how, as many times as they lock somebody up with some serious charges, they're right back out the next day.
Okay.
And how I had a friend of mine tell me that a judge actually told her that for every 10 people who are in the system, they only want to rehabilitate 2 of them. I mean, they only want to rehabilitate 2 of them, because any more than that, they're going to be out of a job. So I think
could be.
Right. So I think there are so many factors into why we are where we are now. I mean, crime is a big business on the other end also, as far as housing criminals and feeding them and caring for them, and there are so many issues that we just can't. I think it's not fair for us to put it entirely on Mayor Williams or on the police
Absolutely.
department.
Absolutely not.
Right.
For instance, the young man in our community, and I'm not advocating marijuana, but he was caught smoking some marijuana. And his bail was only $300. But because of poverty, his family could not afford the $300. So now he is in the system that costs $35,000.
Right.
When that should be on his own, what's that word, recognizance or something like that. He's been here all of his life. They know where he lives. He lives with his parents. Why would there be such a restriction and believe that he's going to run out of this city for $300?
And why can't we put that type of, I guess my biggest pet peeve is, why can't we put that money into education? Like, if we're going to actually spend $30,000, sometimes even more, to incarcerate somebody, when it costs so much less to educate them, why not do that? That's why I just think that, I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if people will actually voluntarily make those type of changes who are profiting off of it. Like, why would they take money out of their pocket to make, if it doesn't affect them? You know what I mean?
Well, you understand that system.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's what I mean. That's why I think that we, like, as a community, we have to demand more.
Why would we take a kid that had never been exposed to prison and put him in prison for $300, and he had a job? Do you know the young man I'm talking about?
No.
I'll tell you later.
All right.
But he had a job. He lost his job, and the system now is taking on more responsibilities when they didn't have to. All he had to do was, whatever the fine would be for smoking marijuana, hope that he would get some kind of rehabilitation. But, how many people do, I mean, there's 25 states where that's legal in America. And yet we make it such an awesome crime when in 25 states it's legal. It's not legal here yet. But at the same time, put this kid in a climate where he may become a hardened criminal as a result of that for $300.
Yep. There are far too many people in our prison system who don't need to be there, who are a threat to community.
Absolutely.
I've heard that from several police officers also. They have homeless people who couldn't pay a loitering fine in prison.
That's
for
where
$20.
That's where we need community involvement, not only in the police department, but community review boards in the judicial department to help to, I don't want to say straighten out, but to give value so that sentencing could be more sensitive. And they would understand what was really required to actually put somebody in jail.
Unfortunately, man, we only have a few minutes left, so.
Well,
I think I bring out the best of you in Sammy's Corner, so we might have to team up a little bit more.
Well, I think you do. If you need that kind of, I'll say that. I want you to.
It was a good. We had a good conversation, I think. Hopefully, we can. If you show up next week, we can continue it.
That sounds great.
Okay. All right. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come right back with our funeral announcements and community news. Okay. At this time, we're going to have our funeral announcements. First, we have Mr. Garvin Crawford, age 91. His funeral services were held on Friday, and his burial took place in the Grace Lawn Memorial Park. Miss Carrie Milligan, age 84. Her funeral services were held also on Friday, and her burial took place in the Silverbrook Cemetery. Miss Yvonne Barber, age 49. Departed this life November the 11th. Her funeral services were held on Saturday, and her burial will take place tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the Grace Lawn Memorial Park. Miss Bessie Perkins, age 71, departed this life November the 10th in the Christiana Hospital. Her services will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. at St. Paul UAME Church, 3114 North Market Street. Viewing will be from 9 to 10:45 only, and her burial will take place in the Grace Lawn Memorial Park. Miss Josefina Pacheco, age 78. Departed this life November the 14th. Her services will be tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. at the Congo Funeral Home, 2nd and Gray Avenue. Viewing will be from 5 to 7. Services for Miss Barbara Wallace, age 63, who departed this life November the 12th in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, will be tomorrow at the Congo Funeral Home on 24th and Market Streets at 11 a.m. And her burial will take place in the Silverbrook Cemetery. Mr. Swayer Torgiliar, age 62, departed this life November the 11th. His funeral services will be on Saturday, November the 30th at 8:30 a.m. at the Parkview Assembly of God, 235 Polly Drummond Road in Newark. Viewing will be from 8 to 8:30, and there will also be a viewing on Friday, November the 29th at the Parkview Assembly of God Church from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Services for Mr. Emmanuel Sean Jones, age 63, who departed this life November the 15th at home, will be announced, and services for Miss Mary Worley, age 88, who departed this life today, will also be announced. That does conclude all of our funeral services. If you have any questions, please call us at the funeral home at 652-8887. Also, you can always go to our website at www.congofuneralhome.com. Just have a few community announcements that we want to make. On Thursday, November 21st, at the William Hicks Anderson Community Center on 5th and Madison Street, there's going to be the Fraulein Trotter Thanksgiving Luncheon. It's going to be from 11 to 2, and it's celebrating elders in our community. For more information, please call 571-4266. 571-4266, and all senior citizens are invited to attend. Also, at the Hicks Anderson Center, they are offering swim lessons for youth and adults. Registration is free. It begins on November the 18th. For youth, swim times are 4:30 to 6, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and for the adults, swim times are 6 to 7 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Once again, for more information, please call 571-4266. 571-4266. And affordable health care for all. Do you need health insurance? There's going to be a seminar on Wednesday, November the 20th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Brandywine Women's Health Associates. For more information, please call 685-8545. 685-8545. All right, that does conclude all of our community news. Thank you so much for watching. If you ever want to be a part of the show, please call us at 652-8887. Please stay tuned for Community Crossfire with myself. I'm going to take over for Norm for the next few weeks, and just because of ratings, I'm just trying to bring his ratings up a little bit. So I'm going to just change my suit, and I'll be right back with Community Crossfire. I'll be right back.